Well, hello, my friends, and welcome to this week's vlog. I'm being ably assisted by my oldest fur baby. This is Gallifrey Castorberus, because you have to give a cat a name he can live up to. He is 17 in a month. On you, baby. On you. Say hello to the peoples under your tubes. I know, he's gorgeous. He's an old boy. His legs aren't too good at the moment. Started on him on cod liver oil, kind of for cats, which seems to be working because he's sleeping about a lot better, aren't you? Eh? Yeah. But anyway, welcome to this week's vlog. Today is Wednesday, the 27th of May, and today I get my hard standing outside, ready for my scooter to arrive at the end of June. My friend Mandy's here doing that for me. It is very, very hot in the UK, and I've lived all over the world in some very hot places, but it is, oh, it hits differently here. So I get up, I'm normally up by 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I open all the windows, all the doors, all the curtains, air all the house out. So I'd say air the house out, enunciate, Sharon. Anyway, and then about 11 o'clock, I close all the curtains, close all the doors, put the air conditioning on, and then I stay inside till about 7 o'clock at night until it's cool enough for me to go back out into it. Um, I know a lot of my friends are loving it, and I hope you're enjoying it. But 30 degrees in the UK feels like 50 degrees everywhere else. I don't know how to explain it. The humidity, the heat, it makes your eyeballs melt. It's horrible. It's like being in a furnace. Or I saw this meme the other day which made me laugh. This woman going, "Oh my God, this heat is like being inside a McDonald's apple pie." I thought that was a brilliant comparison. It really is. It's awful. But people love it, and the majority of the time in the UK, it is cold and raining, which I prefer, but that's not so good for people who don't, is it? You've got to share and share, haven't you? You're right, love. Want some food? Want some treats? I've just got to speak to the peoples, and then you'll have my full attention. Right? Let me just speak to the peoples. I loves you. Yes, I does. You're my little look. Say hello. You're empowering. He's so gorgeous. Anyway, um, I am reading currently Dollface by Lindy, which is basically a slasher set amongst PTA moms. It's brilliant. Never read anything by Lindy before, but she was a guest on our Tales Born Horror Book Club, and she was so lovely. I thought I must read one of her books. As I said, the American cover of this is beautiful. I showed it in my last vlog, but this is great. It reads so well. It's really fun. The characters are fantastic. Nobody's. I mean, I'm not foreign. Nobody has, bitten the bullet yet, but I suspect it's coming. Anyway, that's what I'll be doing today when I shut all my curtains, because it's very difficult to build Lego in the dark. Also, the 1st of June is coming up. The new Lego releases, the 110 releases. Can you believe it? There's not that many I want, really. I'd like the peanut one with Woodstock on the shed, and I love the brickheads. But I don't think there's that many I want. I love Lord of the Rings, but I've never invested in the Lord of the Rings Lego, thankfully, because they're so expensive. And Minas Tirith looks fantastic, but 600 quid's a lot of money in it for Lego. I know there's a lot of pieces, don't get me wrong, but still, it's a lot of money. I just don't have the room to display those kind of huge, great big pieces. I'm going to start building Morticia's cottage on Friday, so I'll bring you along for that. And I can't wait for my hard standing to be done. So my scooter's arriving the end of June, and we can go out on trips, my friends. We can go out. I can't wait. I am not feeling very well today. I know a lot of my friends are on anti-anxiety and depression medications, which don't work well in the heat. I'm not on any of those, but one of my um, painkillers doesn't work well in the heat, and so it just makes me feel tired and hurty. So I'm just going to take it easy today, sit and read my book, and yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I check in. This is this week's upload weekly vlog, which is becoming a regular thing now, isn't it? Quite enjoy it, to be honest. It's quite nice to have somebody to chat to. Don't see people very often. So yeah, you take care of yourselves, my darling, and I'll check in soon. Bye.
And here he is outside, getting some early morning sunshine. And you gully goo, gully goo goo. Oh, it's too warm for them in the day, but he's out here in the morning, every morning. This is my garden. It's a bit of a mess. And there's the other two on my very dirty mat, staying out of the sun. Very sensible boys and girls.
Hello, my darlings. It's now Friday the 29th of May. It's nearly the end of May. I don't know how fast is this year going? It's crackers, isn't it? Anyway, just catch up on what's been going on. Everything's done. My hard standing's all the concrete's gone off. It's all ready to go. I'm just waiting now for the local electrician to call me. So I need to put an outside plug in to charge up the scooter because the batteries are too big to bring in the house. And also I need to put an outside light. But I want one with a switch, not one that comes on automatically. There's a path at the bottom of my path. There's a path through the middle. Do you know what I mean? Does that even make sense? Oh my God. Any road. And at the bottom of the road, at the bottom of the close I'm in, there is a nursing home. And so they're always changing shifts. So if I had one of those that came on when people walk past, it's bad enough with the ring. I had to move ring camera. I had to move that right back. It's kept going off all night because people are changing shifts and coming in and out. Anyway, so I need to wait for the electrician to get in contact so I can get that done. But apart from that, I have been doing a bit of housework, done a little bit of washing. It's exciting times, isn't it, my darlings? Yesterday, I went back to bed. It was so hot the night before. I couldn't sleep, even with, I've got not major air conditioning, but a little bit of air conditioning in my bedroom, and it was still too hot to sleep. So I didn't sleep. So I went back to bed yesterday afternoon because it was cooler. It's a lot cooler today. Not as strong the sun. It's only about 23, 24 degrees, which is perfect. It's very overcast this morning. Perfect. Back to normal. Back to normals. I finished reading Dollface by Lindy Ryan. I gave it 4 stars, but one of those stars was for the opening chapter alone. Because the opening chapter to this is one of the best opening chapters I've read. It is genuinely unnerving and unsettling. And then the first few chapters, I hadn't read much yet last time I checked in. When you're introducing the characters was fun because it's kind of like, Stepford Wives kind of vibes. Because they're also blinking perfect, you know what I mean? And the main character in this, Jill, who just moved there, she's a horror writer. She's chaotic and actually a bit annoying as time went on. I found her really annoying. She keeps second guessing herself, and she's just a bit of a nightmare, really. Darla, who's the woman who's opposite, who's always perfect and like a Barbie doll, and sickly sweet. You think they're all a bit bitchy, to be fair. Is the best character. And then you've got the kind of sister who's completely mad because of what happened to when they were children. And then it starts off quite good with the first slasher kill, and then after that it gets a bit predictable, really. I mean, it was a fun read, and it was quite obvious, I think, early on who was doing it. Do you know what I mean? So I think I'd already figured out who it was. But that's not a problem. I still enjoyed it it's still good fun, and I still, you know, ran through it really quickly because it was really good fun. I love the characters. The dialogue was really fun. And there was kind of very dark humor in it. So it was. So yes, it would have been a 3-star read for me, which means I enjoyed it. But it wasn't anything I hadn't already read, if you know what I mean. But it gets an extra star for the fact that the first chapter is astonishing. I mean, really, still thinking about it. It's deeply disturbing. And it just didn't quite live up to that first chapter, sadly, for me. But it was if you don't read a lot of slashers, you don't read a lot of horror, then this is great because it's a great introduction to that kind of genre. It's brilliant for that. I also read The Waitress by Sinclair Smith for the Point Horror Book Club. Pick this month is on Sunday night on @Tales Point Horror Book Club Instagram at 6 p.m. BST with Rachel Harrison, the author, is going to be the guest on that. Who's lovely. She's such a great guest. And I love her writing. So she's one of my auto boys. And this was fun. It was about a girl called Paula. It was a bit mad. Some of these point horrors are a bit mad, you know. It's this girl called Paula, and she's moved to a new town with her mum. And her mum is out of the town, of course. Parents always disappear in point horror. They're taken out of the story as soon as possible. No parents, no police. It's just anyway. She has already made an enemy with the popular girl at school, Coraline, who thinks she's trying to take her boyfriend, who turns out isn't really her boyfriend, it's just a friend. But anyway, and she's taken a job at this restaurant called the Mad Dog, the Dog House, which is run by this manager called Trixie with a massive, great big red beehive, and she's very eccentric. And it's just so cliched point horror, man. So you got no parents, no police. You've got the mean girl and the, you know, cohorts. And you've got the studious girl, you've got the rebellious girl, you've got the handsome but dappy love interest. Do you know, they're all tropes and cliches in this, but it's just such good fun. You know what I mean? So the tagline to it is the customer is always wrong, dead wrong. Will she survive? Turns out one of the restaurants in town had to close for a nefarious event, and perhaps there's more to what's going on. There's like she gets creepy phone calls and creepy messages left for her when she's waitressing, and it's just all a bit weird, but it's just fun. It's a great read. It's good fun. I mean, most point horrors to me are only 3 stars. Um, there's nothing that special about them, but they're just a good fun. And when we do the chat on them, the discussion on them, the point horror family I'm part of, it's just such a lovely, wonderful community, and we just have such a laugh at these. They're just ridiculously silly. So yeah, I enjoyed that. And then I also read this Bohemian Bohemian Sledgehammer, which is a folk horror, and yeah, I don't really want to say a lot about it, really, because I think you have to kind of go into this one a bit blind, because I did. Um, it is very, very unsettling. It's a historical folklore. It's about this man. He's a student or a professor, and he studies the indigenous cultures and different myths, mythologies, and religions. He turns up in this small town, and he asks someone to take him up to this place called Dorcha Cove, which is up in the mountains, and it's overlooking a lake, which is what's called the cove. And it's a religious community, it's a cult basically, and he wants to go and study them because he's heard that they worship an old god. And so this old grizzly man who takes up supplies to this community, he agrees to take him, and he gets up there, and the only thing he says that we must not stay overnight, and then something happens that means they do, and it all goes to hell after that. All goes to hell in a handbasket. It's yeah, to me, imagery in this is very, very dark. Please check the trigger warnings, content warnings for this. It is it shows really awful things inflicted on other people. So please make sure you check before you read this. It's on Kindle Unlimited. It's not a very long book. It's about 250 pages, and yeah, will he make it back down to the town? That's the question, isn't it? But yeah, it was alright. It was good. Somebody recommended it to me, and it's a good folklore horror. But it's nice to see a folklore horror that's set historical. Most of the time, folklore horrors are set now, about things that happened in the past to that town, whereas this is set in the past and is happening, right? So yeah, it was good. It was good. So at the moment, I'm debating what to read next because I really, really want to read Dissection of a Murder by Joe Murray. So I'm really very excited about this. But there's part of me that thinks this is a really good summer read, and I should keep it for then. Because I've got a bit of a taste for horror again now, right? So I've downloaded a couple that were recommended to me by one of my friends on Instagram. So I've downloaded The Chain. This is on Kindle Unlimited. Both of these are on Kindle Unlimited. Yeah, not The Chain. Chain's the one I brought. What's the other one? I need to check my Kindle. The Chain is the one I bought. So it was only £6 on Kindle. And it's about, somebody's child get kidnapped and she's told she has to kidnap somebody else's child, and that's how it works. I'm not quite sure. I don't read a lot of the blurbs, so I like to go in a bit blind. So I've got this one, The Butcher's Wife by R.J. Law, which is about a woman who suspects that her husband is a serial killer. And then I've got Lies and Bones, again by the same author, which is about a serial killer that lays out the bones of his victims in gruesome displays. So they look quite good. They're quite short. They're only about 200. I think one's about 210 and one's about 250 pages. So it's quite nice, short little horror thrillers. So I might be able to fit both of those in before the end of the month. It's the 29th today. So at the moment, I'm already on 25 books read this month, which is ridiculous. But I don't really have a lot else to do, to be honest with you. I'm retired. Not that that's an excuse, because I used to read like that when I was working, but I don't really go anywhere. I can't really go anywhere. I'm housebound, and most of the time can't really move around a lot if I'm in a lot of pain. So all I really do is read. So I'm not much of a telly or movie watcher. I do love TV and movies, but it's not something that I'm a big fan of. I've got to be in the mood. So yeah, the only thing I watch is YouTube. Quite like watching other content creators for books and Lego. So anyway, I think I've wittered on enough for this section. I hope you're all okay. Hope you've enjoyed the lovely weather, whatever you're doing. And yeah, May's almost over, my friends. Terrifying. Bye.
Well, I don't waste my Saturdays. I've just finished building this. This is Lego Wednesday, 1,200 pieces, 76786, and it's Morticia's Cottage. It's also got a little car with it. Look, this is the Hans family car. There's Lurch, obviously. He's even got platform shoes on. It's very funny. And there's a little thing on the top. And then the house, which is kind of a modular building in a way. It's a small modular. There's Wednesday and Morticia. And then it opens on the side. And here you have the fortune telling room and the kitchen. If we move over here, we have the Adams family toilet with the cross swords. And down here is Morticia's living room, lounge, with a blazing fire. And if you look in here, oops, if I get in there, there's Wednesday's bed. And there's Bianca in the foyer with her list. And yeah, and then he closes up. Like so. And yeah, that's it. There you go. Morticia's Cottage.
Hello, my loves. It's that time of week where we round up the weekly vlog. Put a bit more light on. What is that worse? Is that better? That might be better. But anyway, the last two books I read at the end of May, because obviously next week's vlog will be my wrap up. So I read the two books that I got from Kindle Unlimited by R.J. Law. The first one was The Butcher's Wife. I mean, it was all right. It was really, some things are overhyped, aren't they? And I think this one was a little bit. It was about a woman who hires a private detective called Jimmy, who I really loved. He was very, he did things his own way, but he was very honest. I thought he was the best character in the book, because she thinks her husband is a serial killer. So she hires him to find out. Turns out it's far more complicated than that. It's kind of like a crime noir in a way. And and some of it's really good. But it's about corrupt organisations, generational trauma, and secret societies, really. But it was okay. I mean, it was it was only like 240 pages or something, and it was good fun. But I'll never read it again. And um, it was a very easy thriller, quite brutal. Some of the things in it were quite brutal, though. And the other one I read, what was it called by her, was Lies and Bones. And I thought this one would be better. It's basically about a serial killer who um mutilates the bodies but actually puts them into certain positions that's a bit weird. Again, it was about this policewoman who she was a police detective, sorry, and she is in the shadow of her father, who was this fantastic, solved all his cases detective. And she's trying to prove herself. She hooks up again with the guy Jimmy to help her to find out what's going on. Um, and again, it was all right. It was all right. He said they're trying to chase this killer so they can find the last woman that he kidnapped. Because he keeps them for a while, before he kills them. So yeah, again, I mean, these were both 3 stars. They were fun. Do you know, they're probably 2.5, but I tend to round up because can't do halves on Goodreads, and I could never get on with Storygraph. So yeah, so they were all right. So those are my last 2 reads of the month of May. It's currently the beginning of June, and I'm just going to do my monthly wrap up for the month. I read 27 books in May. But I tend to find that beginning of the month I don't read so much. Like it's the 2nd of June today, and I've only read um, one book, um, and that was quite a short story, really, right, and like a novella. And I'm just started Solace House, which is this one, which is everywhere, and I've got to manage to get it for a 99p Kindle. Bargain, bargain. So I've just started that one, which looks to be really good. It's about a group of kids who get hired to go into a house to sort it out, and they find a weird diary, I think, or journal or something that takes them to discovering some stuff. But I don't really know. I haven't read a lot of the blurb. This is again a book. There's a lot of these this year that seem to split opinion. Some people either really love it or they don't. So we'll see. But I read a lot of good books in May, really good books. But I also read a lot that started off really well and then kind of petered out, which is a bit sad. I was looking at my list because I'm just going to do my wrap up. And I think I only had, out of 27 books, a couple that were 5 stars. Majority of them were 3, or 3.5, 4. So they were okay, but they didn't, blow me away. So we'll see what happens in June. But I hope you're all right, my loves. It's raining again in Devon. Thank the Lord, or whoever you believe in, that it's got back to normal weather. It's cold, it's damp, it's raining. Happy days. So I will see you next week for my weekly and monthly wrap up, my reading wrap up. And until then, my darlings, you take care of yourself. Stay warm or cool. Stay hydrated. Keep reading fantastic books, building Lego, doing whatever brings you joy. If you liked hearing me wittering on, please give me a big like and consider subscribing in my little safe corner of the internet. And I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.